Welcome to the Health Foundation John Scott Center for tonight's event, Pass It On Open Mic. My name is Christina Lott. I am the program manager here at the center. Well, thank you for the applause, even before we get started. But before we start the event, I would like to, and before we start the event, I welcome up our host, John. I'd like to share some housekeeping items with you all. There are 3 fire exits in the center. One is in this room. So apologies, I'm going to step down to help with that. The other 2 exits that we have. Maybe I'll not use this for a moment. I'll just.
Oh, good. We can hear you.
Awesome. Okay, so the other 2 exits that we have are in the room over there. One is the main entrance, and the other is across from our reception desk into our lobby. In addition to the exits being in that area, we also have a restroom located across the reception desk as well. And I would like to remind you, if you haven't done so already, please silence your cell phones. And now a little bit about the Health Foundation John Scott Center. The center opened in September of 2022 and is owned and operated by the Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities, a 50-year-old statewide organization with a mission to partner with communities, institutions, and individuals to explore Louisiana's past, reflect on our present, and imagine our future. The center presents ideas of heritage and symbolism interpreted through the lens of artist, educator, and humanist John T. Scott. Scott's life, art, and legacy while promoting opportunities that nurture connections, enhance human potential, and drive social change. The center's inaugural exhibition is Dancing at the Crossroads, the art of John T. Scott, and it includes over 50 sculptures, prints, multimedia works, and woodcuts to introduce visitors to the breadth of Scott's artistic vocabulary. Key themes include honoring the ancestors, displacement and exile, jazz and the civil rights movement, and Scott's urban warrior archetype. The exhibition invites visitors to draw connections to their own lives, think critically about contemporary issues, and imagine a brighter future. This 6,000 square foot gallery space presents Scott's visionary approach to art, culture, and storytelling. It is currently available for self-guided and private group tours, interactive student field trips, Louisiana Endowment for the Humanities public programs, and venue rentals, as well as partner-led programming with more to come. Now, I am pleased to welcome one of our hosts, John, to the box.
How y'all doing?
All right.
They ain't see me walk up. We see the world as a spinning sphere, and hemispheres like hemispheres. half as dark as a midsummer night.
And only half is bright. And even though it's just one of us, we both learn to live
with our demons
and our angels equally, with no control over which one speaks to me. Tell me something. When you lift up your melancholy, magnificent eyes to seek for me, and you find me in your vision, what do you see?
Just the devil hoping to take,
just an angel open to give? Wait, hey Shadow, why you gotta be so negative?
Listen, while you was trying to influence me to feel good about my emotions, whole time I was broken, I was the one nursing your inner child. I'm your fits of narcissism. I say all the things you're afraid to say out loud. I've been gaslighted, abused, blamed and disallowed, abandoned and left unclaimed and disavowed, and that's why I stick around and talk loud.
Well, that's the same reasons I try so hard to quiet you down. Even though I need to hear every sound, because I need you to motivate me towards doing better than something, or being better than something.
I'm your curse, the side of you that reminds you it's been so much worse.
I'm always the one trying to remind you that your blessing is coming. We exist in the darkness of the dichotomy between not knowing if you're going to have to live for what you believe in.
A die for what color skin you was conceived in.
So excuse my internal war with myself, but while we're discussing war, let's be clear. Whose side are you on?
Killmonger?
T'Challa? The crib owner?
Or the starving robber, the rebel bomber?
Or the capitalist survivor?
Your
black ass daddy or your black ass mama? Every day is a life or death decision. And living in two pieces makes me want to kill the other side of me. Or at least shut him off so I can have some quiet in me. But some of what he's saying got to me. Made me write this poem in two pieces so you can feel the other side of me. Dichotomy. And during the Black Lives Matter riots week, made it a trend to say you side with black men. But you side with what side of me? The angry apparition wandering the grave of the buck-broken slave. The vengeance of the dead black boy sent a column front page. The rage that produced from trauma at a young age. That piece of you that's always there, no matter how many times you work out, fast and pray, how much you get paid, how much you buy, how much you pay, or what God you praise. Or you side with the wisdom, the one who kept you out of prison, the one who gave you philosophy, psychology, spirituality, science, technology, and religion, the one who manifested you for risen to which the other side of me isn't, showed you signs, wonders, and holy visions because my discipline was splendid and your timing was impeccable and your attitude brought you to altitudes to be commended. But let me ask you something. When have I ever steered you wrong?
Remember I showed you your mama doing drugs, your uncle died in the hospital after ODing in the tub? Remember when I told you that for us this is what the world is made up of? Remember you was crushed until I taught you how to capitalize off of how it was? Remember I had you selling dope? At least then you had a way to cope. You wasn't worried about paying notes or playing it close or having hope.
I'm the one that told you hope is inside you. You would have graduated college and probably been a whole millionaire if you would have let me guide you. Your insecurities within your shadow self always standing beside you, tempting you to see the emptiness in society when you ain't got to. There's opportunities out there and way more than jobs you can apply to. If you apply me as yourself, you can do anything you desire to.
Don't forget, that nigga saying all that positive shit, but he comes straight from the desire too. He seen all the glitz and yacht sticks, and when I could have got shot,
Yeah, you right.
He heard the same gunfire too. He knows what it costs to die.
To live.
And you know that shit costs a lot too.
When I'm together, when I'm sane, I'm two ways of dealing with a black man's pain, split up in the same brain.
I know I remind you of all the shit you come from.
I'm trying to get you to the greatness that you're destined to attain. But what's funny is, we both had the same job. We just talk over each other so much inside your head that you don't know which one of us is right and which one of us is wrong. Because we both make valid points.
I tell you she left you and took the baby, so move on, you don't need her.
I tell you that baby is your seed, and because she made it for you, you should feed her. And we both right. I tell you to go to therapy. You ain't been thinking too clear.
And I tell you, black folks been finding ways to deal with their problems without therapy for hundreds of years.
And we're both right. You get angry about everything.
And nothing.
All at the same time. But the thing we know best is how not to give a fuck. I was gonna say how not to give a response.
No. No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No. Damn right we respond because we learned how not to give a fuck from our mom.
Yeah, but as men, as we grew to learn how not to respond to everything.
From where? My father who we called all those times? From my family who ignored all the pain manifested from inside?
No. From all those times you should have read between the lines, but you led with too much pride, and you ain't never seek a guide. Think rationally, black man, govern your behavior.
See, that's your problem, nigga. You always trying to be my savior.
Just trying to save myself.
Nigga, me too.
The way you talk to you?
I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to me.
But when you're talking to me, you're talking to you.
Mind your fucking business.
Your mind is my fucking business.
And here we
go talking to ourselves again.
The shadow talking to the light.
And the light talking to the shadow. Note to self, it's unfortunate we can only talk to each other because we don't have no one else. We are the difference between trying to find your spot off in that light
And being ready to light off in that spot.
I love you though.
I love you not.
But I love you though.
I love you not.
We love us.
We love us not.
I am his feelings, tied in a knot, wanting to unravel myself and find the one thing we've always been looking for, the one thing we've never got, balance. I woke up trying to bring
my shadow self
to the light. Because for a black man in America, every day is a fight.
to the death,
To the life.
a fight between me and myself.
We see the world as a sphere and semispheres like hemispheres.
Half as dark as a midsummer night.
And only half is bright.
And
Even though it's just one of us, we both learn to live.
with our demons
And our angels equally.
Every
Every day is a life or death decision. And living in two pieces makes me want to kill the other side of me. Or at least shut him up so I can have some quiet in me. But some of what he's saying over time really got to me. Made me write this poem in two pieces so you can feel the other side of me. Not out of me.
Alright, so y'all like poetry over there. Okay, y'all like a little something. Okay. So how y'all feeling? Y'all good? Yeah. Y'all really good. Look, I'm from New Orleans, so like normally when I speak to people, like when people speak to me, I'll respond. I'll be like, wah. So if y'all really feeling good, I'm gonna say how y'all doing. Y'all gonna be like, wah. How y'all doing? I got that. That's funny. Y'all got that on camera? Alright, so what I want to do is bring up my partner, right? I'm not doing this by myself. I have a co-host in here tonight, right? So if it's okay with y'all, I want to bring up the amazing, the talented, oh my God, the beautiful, the fine, oh my God, oh but she is named Kind because she is iconic. Her name is Shook Country Up. Oh my God, please give it up for my co-host, the Country.
I had to come because I knew John was gonna be. He always has a fly top. But I can't top, dope like that.
So I'm gonna give it to you. You gonna read the rules? You know the rules? Cause I'm not gonna put him on blast, but when we first started this show 15 years ago, it used to be
That's a
hosted.
long time.
It is. It used to be hosted by Guion and his co-host at the time, Bobby Fonts, right? Look at them over there. Somebody swing a camera on those guys, right? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, since we family, right? They never knew the rules. It was like, one of the things we do is throw pennies in a bucket and so look, we was like, we can top that. We wrote them down. So we got Con. You gonna give them the rules?
I can read.
All right, bet.
So these aren't necessarily rules, because this ain't school. This is more like guidelines to further enhance your pleasurable experience here at Pace. You like how that sounds? I made that up. That's all improv. So, rule number one, or guideline number one, shall we say, is respect the box. Most places you have a stage. Here at Pass It On, we have what we call a soapbox. Because artists get up here, if they do please, and they share their thoughts or their minds. So you respect the box. That means if you have sidebar conversations, something your neighbor, you're trying to get their phone number, y'all talking about the weather, talking about the stock prices or whatever, y'all might need to take that into the gallery or into another space so that artists can be respected for the work that they put time and patience into. The second rule is respect the audience. I think that's more so for the artists and for yourselves. Respect each other. We're just gonna say respect. Everybody just be over here respecting, okay? Okay on me. The third rule, this is very important. Please respect the art. We are honored enough to be in the John Scott Center, which is a place of beauty. We've seen this thing start from when it was just a shell of something to now being filled with this beautiful artwork that is timeless, priceless. So if you touch The fourth rule is 2 cents in a bucket. That's usually followed by an expletive, but since we're the John Scott Center, I'm gonna try to keep it a little PG. I'll try my best. We have some loose change right here. This is my loose change. So when we're done with it, return my money back to me because I drive a truck and gas is high. When an artist gets up here to give their 2 cents, we would like you to grab 2 cents, from the box, put it in the, not necessarily the bucket, the oversized offering basket. And then one of the last, well, not the last, the next to the last, but very important rule, most important rule, is that you have a good time.
Yeah.
You ain't come out here to not enjoy yourself. You got dressed, you took a bath, you brushed your teeth, you put on deodorant today, or rub a line, whatever you holistic people do, to make yourself respect your neighbor. So please have a good time. Chuckle when you want to chuckle. If the artist says something that you appreciate, please show them love, let them know you're feeling it. There's nothing like being an artist and sit back going. And the last rule we have, this is what we call our little church. In the South, we have this thing that's called call and response. Well, we call, and y'all do what?
Respond.
Y'all smart. Y'all smart. Y'all not only beautiful, but you're smart. So our call and response is here at Pass It On. We're going to ask you, are you ready for the word? And if you've ever been at Pass It On,
Okay, somebody ready before.
we got weddings up in the building. The rest of y'all got to come to choir rehearsal. Sopranos, this is your note. This is your note. This is your note. Are you ready for the word? That was so easy. That sounds so good.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
You ain't really?
You ain't come up here 3 times.
I did.
No,
Okay.
I like it to be great. I like it to, I want it to be. I like it to be.
So are you ready for the word?
Hey, that was good. That was good.
I want a little more.
Oh, you want more?
I want more. Don't shatter the glass.
Oh my God.
We can't pay for this. But we're going to try it one more time. Just read the magic number. Are you ready for the word? Oh, beautiful. I like it. Okay. Yeah, John is going to cuss in my ear.
Yeah. I gotta get him
I'm
out.
going to translate it into more appropriate language. He said, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
All right. So we ready for some more poetry?
Yeah.
We have poets for you. We got poets on poets.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. We got up first.
Man,
Yeah, who you got?
I love when people just volunteer.
Yeah.
I love when people do that. Like, because this book is so amazing. Like, real talk. Like, I met them in New Orleans, and it's crazy because we were outside of a venue, and she was like, I'm from Chicago. I don't know how she said it. I just know she said bye like that. Bye. She said bye. So, look, just came back from going and kill an amazing show in Houston, right? And they came straight back just to kill another amazing show in New Orleans. So y'all ready for your next amazing artist? Yeah.
What's it called?
Girls, hold on, we got
You
it.
asked me a question, I just said that.
No, you didn't. You said the wrong word. That's what I'm trying to say. You not let me act. He think he a host. I almost had to kick. All right, so look. I know, he know.
That's what I'm saying.
So look, are you ready for the word? Please give it up for your next amazing, talented artist, Lyrical.
Yeah.
I got on yesterday's clothes because I literally woke up in Texas and then drove here, and here I am. I can't stand on this stuff because it made me nervous. Come on back. Are there any black people here?
Come on.
Black people at all? Okay. I see a few black folks in the room. Okay, great. Okay, I see you. I see a few black folks in here. I am black. I've been black. I was born black. I grew up black with black people who cook black food. I studied black history in a black school where my jet black afro was not straight enough to be white. I identify black on standardized tests because half-breed was not always been too far brown to be anything else. Everything else was already taken. They called me Oreo, mixed, mulatto, mud, Puerto Rican. All of which I figured were just synonyms for what I really was, black. But they say, but your mama is white, right? So really, you mixed and you should embrace your white side as part of why you exist to dig this. No matter how much white was involved with me being made, if I was born with my granddaddy, I would have still been a slave. I suffer the consequences of being black every day. And do you know what that consequence is? Excellence, bitch. And don't you ever forget, I've been black. Since seed finding earth, I was just baked in a porcelain stove. Oh my. 394,000 minutes till I was golden brown. My recipe was perfectly pre-written in the Alchemist cookbook called How to Make a Little Black Girl. 2 heaping cups of curds, 1 teaspoon of too much pride, 3 cups of courage, 1 quart of thighs, a tablespoon of melanin, and a cup or 2 of wise. Add a splash of more melanin for a little razzle-dazzle, maybe an accent, a mole at her backspin, give her witchery with words, but don't give her a back end. And maybe half the rhythm. We gotta keep her grounded, because I'm black. Like the before magic, like closed eyes, like that feeling in your chest when your pastor do like this, and the choir cries. You know they finna cut up. I'm black like not just shut up, but shut the fuck up, because they different. I'm black like before you do anything on Saturday, you clean in my house. Kitchen, bathroom, living room, soul train, your room, and everything. You can go out. I'm black like, don't sit on my bed in your outside clothes. When grown folks is talking, keep your fucking mouth closed, and I don't care if Jesus come knocking, you better not answer my door if I ain't home. Stop running in and out my door, you letting all my air out. Don't let nobody play in your head, and don't you dare take this hat down. When the street lights come on, your ass better be home. You speak to every single adult when you walk in the door. I'm black like getting your hair braided and getting popped in the scalp with the comb. And so what if I can't jump double dutch? A black man taught me how to cook, so you know she burns in the kitchen. Spades, gauge, vicious, I'll run a yard on your ass while I'm frying my chicken. I'm black, he said. I'm blacker than 1,000 hotels. Don't let this light skin fool you. I'm blacker than granny's dress clothes and young people's funerals. Watch your mouth when you call me by name. The one given to me by my black daddy. I, black mother, black like Alabama, Canucka, black like my sisters and brothers. My big mama got man some Musa blood. And she grew up in the wishing nigga woods where I heard only niggas was allowed to be. And if you go there and you see the throne she carved out for me, it's got my name on it, written in black, just like she was. And I was taught to do whatever she does, and what she does is move the people. See, she preached on the sequel, and I preach on the soapbox, so technically we equal. My black go back like Cadillac seats. Diamonds in the back. And all the blackest things. Listen, I mixed with emancipation and struggle. My grandmama's ass whoopings and my granddaddy's hustle, so this don't never have to be a discussion. Because I'm black. And that's it.
In the words of Lyrical Paradigm, and that's it.
Quick temperature check. How y'all feeling?
All right.
I feel like I need to stand up and like taller than me, and I got on heels, but I don't like that.
Still calling,
I'm not really short, I'm just down to earth. Thank you. Top that. Word good.
I know. I got right mind back.
Go think about it. So y'all, you still enjoying yourselves?
Yeah.
More energy trickling into the room. I think this is such a beautiful thing, especially here on this block, in this building, surrounded by this art, to have verbal spoken word amidst all of this beautiful visual art. If you haven't had a chance to, in intermission, please walk around, look at the art again, respect the art, but also respect the artist. And speaking of artists, we have another artist coming up to the mic. This young man might not remember me, but I remember him from the slam poetry scene. He had this poem that was about a tree that really messed my head up. Like, the metaphor was stupid. That was one of those poems. Like, poets have poems that's like, I kind of wish I would have wrote that poem. This poem was so beautifully written, I wish I could wrote this poem. But he's a touring poet, a national award-winning poet and author. He has a book out that you can find. You can find him afterwards called Waiting for the World to Wake Up, 10 Years of Becoming. So I want y'all to start getting your energy all riled up. But first, we got to do a little call and response. Are you ready for the word? Yes, I got to teach you. We got to teach you. Pause for the call. All right, all our new people just walked in the building. This is passing on. It's kind of like church. It's black people, some white people, people. So at the church, when we have a call, then you have to do what?
They knew already.
Y'all was talking to them, huh? All right, so the call is, are you ready for the word? And your response is, pass it on. So when we say, are you ready for the word? You say, what? Pass it on. I love it. All right, so all together, now me. All right. Are you ready for the word? Pass it on. Welcome to the soapbox, Seth Walker.
That's so funny. That's how I'm back in New Orleans. People got that psychic voodoo. I was like, she know what poem I'm doing tonight. That's not fair. It's an honor to be here. Y'all. It's been a long time, but I can't tell you what a pleasure it is to be opening up for Mr. Emmanuel Bean. Outspoken Bean is one of my favorite artists. I was blessed to be able to watch him come up in the scene. But anyways, I'm gonna shut up and do a poem. Dig it. I remember the day they brought you home from the hospital. Though we hadn't yet met, I loved you through the window from the backyard. One time when you were 5, you hugged me after autumn had stripped me of my leaves. We used to talk back when you could still hear me. I told you to squeeze me tighter, dry your eyes. My knots are what make me this beautiful. I shed my leaves on purpose to catch snowflakes in my fingertips.
Bloodletting involves cutting a vein or artery, typically at the elbow or the knee, to remove the affected blood. Bloodletting is still used today in the treatment of a few diseases, including hemochromatosis and polycythemia. Practice folks. It is practiced by specifically trained practitioners in hospitals using modern techniques, and is also known as a therapeutic phlebotomy.
Come on, Webster, Google, welcome.
I want to let you know so you can understand. Bloodletting ain't the same as bleeding. But either way, when we finish, it's going to be blood all over this floor. Either I get all this out, or you might not see me no more, because I can't live with these silent cries from my core, knowing what's in store if I stay quiet. America should consider poets prophets and poetry a fair warning. You think spoken word is performance art, but this shit is not performance art, because the real ones that prophesy do not be performing. We be bloodletting. We be shirtless black boy meditating against backdrop of low-hanging sun setting. We be cursing hate. We be using that same mouth to be love blessing. We be that cleanest tin in the village where the tattoo man live. We be stick and poke and stick, letting the blood drip until you look like one of us. We be in front of lit fire pit with candles and incense lit, playing Erykah Badu and waving sage sticks, doing our best to smoke away the negativity that used to be our intention for the mention of our names from mouths of our enemy. We be suffering, centuries and centuries of suffering that we wear on our faces and in our voices and in our hands and on our soul, and especially in our blood. Have we not this platform to express all the hell that's held in these platforms and broadcast on all that's received by this antenna called the self? You would need so much more help cleaning this place up, because there would be so much more blood on this country's floor. Instead, we just bloodletting, letting go of the memory of settings that were unsettling, upsetting, but we be using that to be kicking shit you could get a kick out of until you realize every step onto a stage for us millennial renaissance poets in a rage is a foot in the ass of globalism. And every vocalized feeling is a little piece of your spirit stepping out of his cage. See, this body shit is a rental. When I find audiences to vent to, this art form I'm into is just the pages of love letters left in my living rooms for the ancestors I was kin to. My eyes is their windows, my mouth is their door, my vocal cords are keys, giving them openings into coincidental, temperamental, transcendental, subletting. That means I let them take over my voice sometimes. And some of them want more blood from you than others. So to save this world from the bloody justice to which they become inclined, I satisfy them with my sacrifice and give them wine. I drink what comes from the grace and wrath on the vine of my bloodline, and when they demand blood, I stand on stages and I give them mine. It boils, it burns inside me, and sizzles as I cut myself open and let go of the shit that could claim my love if I kept it inside and gave it a place to hide. I've been the one that this anger is diseasing, so no wonder it's so pleasing for me to give it to those of you who've been needing to feel our pain, however fleeting, to feel the potential power of this giant inside us that's sleeping. It feels good as it's dripping and seeping from the vein. See, bloodletting ain't the same as bleeding, but either way, when I'm finished, it's gonna be blood all over your floor. Emotion and pain and love and war and all that shit we lived and died for, dripping off my brow like Jesus praying in Gethsemane. We always needed blood for redemption, and this was no exemption. The poet always made the sacrifice to get this world's attention. This shit we do be raw expression. Art with heart, but without beat or paint to hide behind and cover the real you with, to let it be what you ain't, cause up here, you can't. You either got this shit or don't got. You either bloody or you not. And I'm deep red flowing from a vein into a puddle of itself, on record without a tune. I could have cut telling stories about wounds, through rhymes and rooms that you ain't been invited to, like ancestor shrines and tombs. This is where negative emotion is just as welcome as all that shit you don't mind people knowing you feel.
Come on.
This is where rubber meets road and runner meets real. And can't run no road fast enough not to remember what was killed and who survived. For me to have all this trauma, I need to bloodlet in order to heal. It's just forbidden harmonies under street lights. Like sounding out vowels by candlelight in the slave quarters. Like the screams we never heard from slave daughters during house nigga conception. This is same mama, different complexion. And daddy treat me like an exception because he finds it hard to accept why I'm a higher yellow. This is putting the saint's name on Papa Legba to hide from settlers. How we get the spirit and the body together. This is black oppression without rhythm in it. Acapella. Because all these songs you heard started as poems we wrote. And the melody is just a note that we use to make you quote mantra. So I don't sing that shit. But don't forget, you bloodletting. And bloodletting ain't the same as bleeding, but either way, when we finish, it's gonna be blood all over your floor. This is the release of all the bad blood and deep resentment. This is DNA reprogramming, biohacking, feeling fracking. This is Annie not being okay. This is what happens when you're hit by the sharp edge of a smooth criminal's knife. This is when you lose the tools to make the message subliminal and you just say that shit, even though it might hang you for it. That voice in your soul gonna thank you for it. This is that young blood, Emmett Till, standing in front of the store where he ain't supposed to go, thinking, God damn, that bitch is fine as hell. This is Detroit Red in a zoot suit, pimping a white hoe down Lenox Ave, young blood, letting America have a taste of what it shoved down his mama's throat. Like how the fuck you like it when I lose control and take what you love the most and juxtapose it with the gutter. This for what you did to my mother. This is how it feels to slide the knife in and out like you vampire, you bloodsucker. Take that shit with you, motherfucker. I hope you can't breathe when I'm finished. These stages, these pages, be where my revenge goes. When I can't take a straight razor across and put a pinstripe across the windpipe of the social system that pushed me to the bottom of itself. This is the death of the algorithm. This is that Sambo nigga when he no longer has to have the rhythm and he no longer has to rhyme. And he took off all that shit he had to wear to become less of a threat in your mind. And he hit the streets that night for the first time with that mask on and that blood in his eyes, tired of dancing and singing for likes and follows and watching white people repeat the nigga in his lyrics and act out a lifestyle that killed everybody he loved. Poetry is the only place where it's less threatening to be out for blood. And that's because bloodletting ain't the same as bleeding. And doing surgery ain't the same as stabbing. But either way, when we finish, it's always blood all over the floor. See, this poetry shit is where rappers and gangsters and misfits and artists of all kinds go to right outside the lines and ignore the margins and stop begging your pardons and start opening hearts that's been hardened and start bleeding all over your dance floors and killing shit for more than just shine. This is social justice, revolutionary politics, and righteous indignation combined. See, these them stories that have you crying because you know you ain't have to live your life under the same pressure I had to live mine. This is a poor righteous teacher at a Buddhist shrine with a kufi on quoting Bible lines. It's all the gods talking at the same time. Even an exorcist can't exercise violence in silence. That's a spirit that comes out loud and wretched when manifested. Sound a little bit like I don't give a fuck why I'm worth so much less to this society than the lives of others, but blood will flow until my value is the same. And I get to know that, and so does every motherfucker that ever called my name. Shout on, young prophets. You're not singing in vain. We tried silence and it ain't bring us no change. You better thank God that some of us found a microphone and a page with college ruled lines, because I ain't go to college or to no Africana studies program. This blood that flows in ink to link these grapes of wrath from my drink of wine with what I think in my mind while my wrists drip from the brink into the sink of time. This blood should be yours and not mine. But I'm the sacrificial lamb for the presence of the divine, the bloodline of the line of Judah. You made use of violent crime. This is where my anger goes. The livid disapproval of 1,000 souls that had to live and die to leave me here. The feeling from under the foot of 999 holes you dug and dropped me in and filled just to keep me here. Bloodletting ain't the same as bleeding. But either way, when I'm finished, it's gonna be blood all over this floor. And America better thank God that a nigga like me found spoken word poetry, or before it could ever be over, there would be so much more blood.
Come on, boy.
How y'all feel?
I'm glad. Because we are actually at our featured poet now. Are y'all ready for a featured poet? Whoa.
They even know what a featured poet is.
You gonna tell them?
It's a poet who's featuring. No, we really have a treat for you all. We have a poet who is joining us all the way from Houston, Texas. I'm gonna let John is gonna give a little more insight into who this poet is. I know this poet personally. He's a good friend of mine. We came up together on the Poetry Slam scene some years ago and always crossed paths. I always say this, I'm an only child, but I really found family in art, like in poetry and other artists. I consider Gion, Ayo, John, Bean, like all these people, my brothers, my sisters, and so it's such a gift that keeps on giving, like whether it's meeting you, the audience, and connecting with people just on a human level, or finding other artists to connect with. They're also somebody that we see as having a certain talent or a certain gift, and we want them to come and just share a little bit more of themselves, and so it's such an honor to have this poet here with us. We're gonna let John give you the good old bio, just so you can know that it's really, really real. That we don't just be getting over anybody. All the people that step up on this stage is prime poets. If you have not already seen and heard it.
Hey, his bio is so fire, I thought he was a fake person. Like, I was like, oh, God, you did all that? Yeah, well, like, just your lifestyle, okay. Emmanuel Lee Bean, also known as Outspoken Bean, was the first poet to perform on Houston's ballet main stage with their production play. He has been commissioned to write and perform a national campaign on diversity for past Ribbon and Vice, while creating and producing his own festival, Plus Fest, the Everything Plus Poetry Festival, and the founder, creative force of Woodson Black Fest in partnership with Contemporary Art Museum Houston. Born in New Jersey and raised in San Antonio, Texas, Outspoken Bean serves as Houston's Poet Laureate through 2023. In 2022, Bean received an Academy of American Poets Laureate Fellowship. Are you ready for the word? Please give it up for your featured artist, your featured poet for the night, Outspoken Bean.
What up?
Hey, what's going on?
Come on, Laureate.
So, what's up? How y'all doing? It's good to see because Pastor Long was in Houston. I was the MC, but even before that, Pastor Long was always live for me, and always a great venue. I always appreciate how warm he's been, and I've actually met family members that I didn't know were family members that passed on, right? And it just means a lot. Mama, where are you going? All right, go ahead. Go ahead. All right. Thanks to the entire show. She heard it already. That's fucked up, dude. It's also true. So check it out, y'all. I use a lot of engagement and like rhythm and stuff like that, right? And if you see and you feel and you hear the rhythm, please clap along, right? Clap along, you know what I mean? And feel free to clap and snap along, right? And you can make it communal, right? I'll let you know. I definitely want to use you, my man. I definitely want to use you. Yeah, for sure. And so yeah, I'll be on the 2s and 4s. I think I should let people know. I'll be on the 2s and 4s. If you find yourself on the downbeat, stop. Alright, like I said, I'll be on the 2s and 4s. And I'm also going to be giving. I have 2 books. I have one that's meant for sale, one that's meant to give away. If you follow me on Instagram or you give me your email address, I'll give you a book. And if you buy my book, my boy Seth, thank you for coming out, man. He'll give you a discount on his. Do y'all want to hear some poetry?
Yeah.
One last thing. I need a volunteer. One volunteer. One, not you. You. Yeah, come on. All right.
Not you. Anybody but you.
Can you record my set?
Oh shit, I thought I was gonna be.
No. Can you record my set? I'll give you a book. Not the free book. No, do it from you.
Do it from where I'm at? All right, church.
And make sure you get their heads so that it looks like I'm performing for people.
I got you.
Okay. It's behind you. Yeah, okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Are y'all ready for the word?
Pass it on.
Ready for the word?
Pass it on.
Oh, all right. I'm on these poems again. So happy to be on the stage again. This life I love is sharing poetry with my friends. And I'm so happy to be on these poems again. Y'all are writing poems again. Words, y'all. Words are going places that they've never been. I'm feeling feels that I may never feel again. And I'm so happy to be on these poems again. Y'all are on these poems again. Like a band that makes me right down the highway. I find well, some days, even on my way, it catch me off sideways, y'all. I'm on these poems again. Where you can hit in and exit to my maze. How many times I'm going to break till I realize I'm in when my chips were done, my foundation was free to lay, and I'm on these poems again. Where my best of friends and crusade, where we. Who wasn't in choir? Where we will rewrite the world. Let me say that again. Where we will rewrite the world. Where we will rewrite the world for the better in our way. And our way is only through these poems again. So happy to be on the stage again. It's like I love sharing poetry with my friends. And I'm so happy to be on these poems again. Y'all, I'm on the stage again. With a little emotion, with my friends. Hoping that everything will happen. that was going to be with a quartet, a string quartet. So four, a celloist, two violinists, and a viola player. And it was my own professor, who was a composer from Prairie View A&M. Anyone care? Prairie View? You know what's up, right? White man, come on, man. But I love it so much, though, my brother right there. So, my professor from Prairie View, he composed it, and he was inspired by Langston Hughes' poem, right, called Bring Us Peace. And so I wrote a poem based off of what he wrote, right, based off what he composed, called Bring Us Peace, right? And, or I Come in Peace is mine, inspired by that. A year later, I fly from Houston, Texas to New York. To New York City, land, drop off my stuff at a hotel, and then go to rehearsal, because with that quartet that I was working with the year before, and my composer from Prairie View, who wrote a piece inspired by Langston Hughes, that I also wrote inspired by Langston Hughes, the same poem, we were going to be performing the next evening at Carnegie Hall. Yeah. And I got to see Carnegie Hall for the first time. It was as beautiful as you can imagine. And just being nosy, talking to the staff there, wonderful staff, he's like, oh, you're a poet? Let me show you something. Come to find out, 101 years prior, Langston Hughes had read at Carnegie Hall. Yeah. And obviously it's like, yeah, that makes sense, that tracks, right? Like, he's still famous today, you know what I'm saying? But I got to look at one of the poems he wrote. That I got to look at his set list, because they had it in the program still. And Bring You Peace was that poem, was one of the poems he was doing. I come in, I bring to you as. I am not here to, nor do I want to ask for more than a raised index and middle finger as. The branch and the dove are above and they linger as. The sand clock vanishes, and the sand paper finishes with hours, by the hour, at any second. There's an expectance to be given out. Or we will take our peace. Give us our peace. Or we will fight for our peace. I will move in the light for my peace. I will move through the dark of the heart for my peace. And peace, if you're able to see it, no matter how far it is, if you're able to see it, go to it. It is a journey worth taking. And when I saw mine, as far as it was, I decided to set my sails. There are parts of me where I feel lost at sea as the wind wails. I carry these messages in this flesh bottle without comfort or coddle. Ahoy, matey, shiver me timbers, I find myself hooked off of handshakes, or I have to pay one leg forward to endure my quest that has lately marked an X and raided my chest, drifting, remembering that self is an island. Peace is an island. Yourself is an island. The only odd I see is I don't feel like I'm the captain now. Navigating these peerless seas like Blackbeard just to be screwed like Phillips. I thought I told you that my self-island is worth its piece, and each piece reached will make a map and it will all come together. So before the drift away, before the Krakens released cracking the floorboard, before I was forced to walk the plank, to plummet leagues deep into the emotions ocean, before I was isolated as an isosceles, but my acute sanity was thrown overboard, and I was caught by the compass of my obtuse compass that brought me right to Bermuda's Triangle. I know internally that every map has a legend and a key. Allegedly, my isle of self is when my longitude and latitude are still. will raise floors to wage war for my. Thank you. Any Winehouse fans out here? Y'all enjoying yourselves? They didn't make a mistake having me featured? No? Yeah. I know, right? All I can ever be to you is this darkness that we know and this regret got accustomed to. Once it was so right when we were at our height, staring alone in a hotel at night. See, I hadn't met my match. Every moment we would snatch. I do know why. I'm so attached. It's my responsibility. You don't owe nothing to me but to walk away. I have no capacity. You see, she walked away. The sun went down. She took the day, and now she's gone. And in your way, in this blue shade, my tears dried on their own. I don't understand how I could be seen as less than, and there was so much of my heart in your hand. Broken engagements are not for the lack of a double tap on the screen, but rather a screen shattered. In fact, we were both left to each other's own devices. I hate how a mustard seed-sized disagreement moved a mountain to wedge in between us. I guess this is the mold that our relationship chose to die on. For me, I have to grapple toward knowing that all I have invested has come to a point where divestment is the best path forward. After 2 broken engagements, I will be lying if I'm not searching for approval. And since the learning curve is an actual curve, I understand that recycling and throwing away are both forms of removal I must keep in mind. I am not trash to find. I am found treasure. And she walked away. The sun went down. She took that day. Now she's gone. And in your way, that blue shade, my tears dried on their own. The thing that's interesting, right, like I mentioned in the poem, that been engaged twice. And so with that first engagement, who that Emmanuel Bean was, and to the last, most recent one, I realized, like, they went through similar things, but they're not the same people. This is what growth is, right? Love is something people I know who are in it so broken, more so than the one who's single, y'all. It's easy. To say those 4 letters is simple. To pull the pin's contradiction, but how many of us can embrace a ticking grenade and claim it tickled? Assure me that love is lost. I'm ready to go out searching for the wreckage, y'all. I may find Malaysia 721 or Amelia Earnhardt when searching for my heart's weapon of love is really being shanked by a rustic knife rather than being shot by Cupid's arrow. Love happens when it's close and personal. I broke my heart and my spirit running along a runaway locomotive. Love's motive is a derailment train falling from a bridge. Love is, love that. No, I need to love me like a mid-air plane collision. And I go out searching in the valley for every piece of me that has fallen. I run into her feet. I rise as she decides to walk away. The sun went down. She took the day, and now she's gone. And in your way, in this blue shade, my tears dried on their own. Y'all poems?
Yeah.
Cool. Good. I want to give you a few. This next one is about things that Texans love. Right? I've been living there most of my life, all my life for the most part. And there's three things, and because Louisiana is so close, New Orleans is right there. It's just right there, right? So I'm gonna break it down to the top three things that Texans love, right? I'm talking about like not sports team because it's not the Dallas Cowboys, okay? But things like stores and stuff, all right? So coming in at a strong number three, things that Texans love. Strong number three is Whataburger. All right? You know what I'm saying? Strong number three. Yeah, we love it. You may not like it, we love it. Just don't tell me, all right? Number two, coming in at a strong number two is HEB. Man, right? Those of you who are old enough to remember Schwagmans, right? Because I used to come here as a kid all the time, right? HEB kind of reminds me of that. It's like a Texas version of that. And it's just so good. They care about us more than our governor does. And so it is a wonderful, and so I love that. I love that place, right? And then coming in at number one. And it's number one because as many HEBs as I've been to, as many HEBs as I've been to the restrooms, I had to use the restroom, right? And there's not one HEB restroom is as clean as number one, right? It's not as beautiful as number one. It's not as private as number one, right? Some of you might know who I'm talking about, right? If you know, just say it out loud. Number one is Bucky. You know this place is awesome if they have convinced you to eat something that is called beaver nuts. All right, y'all? Like this place is incredible. If my family hasn't been there, I don't know why. You probably haven't driven with me. Anytime I drive, I stop at that place. All right? I reached the point of no return. Then I remembered my promise in making me a customer to my service. That came with non-negotiable terms, targeting as a non-Walmart policy that I can't or won't return myself. When I left the shelf, the top one, I started life. These priceless ties that been tagged on me, I have to remind myself to retail. Excuse me. I have to remind myself to retell myself, not to discount me. I am the manager, on call, and general. The question to how I can help you is always found on the road with the mirrors. What's new in store has always been in store. The inventory has been barcoded and accounted for. My worth is my offer. That is my final offer. Attention shoppers, we have a steal of a deal. Here I am, on or in the aisles. I am no longer waiting for intercoms to announce my call. Thank you. I have this fondness of black since I found my black. I have this joy in my black since I found my black. I got this love in my black since I found my black. I have this honor in my black since I found my black. Got this peace in my black since I found my black. Got this love in my black since I found my black. Got this honest in my black since I found my black. Got this rhythm in my black since I found my black. Got this love in my black since I found my black. It's more than familiar. This feeling is peculiar. The smile and cry for people who identify how joys and pains are quite similar. It's the crowns and the thorns to be hated in the door. It's actually eternity. It's really more interesting. My black is a paradox. Cauldron, calling the kettle, and the pot's Negro. Y'all know I know my black, right? Right? Is to be dressed and attacked, to be adorned and snatched, to be feared, rejected, admired, neglected, desired, or protected. There's reasoning in black. There's a seasoning in black. Any seasoning is black, y'all. I'm seasoned in black, right? Right? But lately I'm feeling closer to bland brown rice. When I say bland brown rice, I don't mean a bowl of rice that's bland. When I say bland brown rice in that order, I mean Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, and Tamir Rice. So lately, I'm feeling closer to bland brown rice. My black is aware anytime when I wear a black hoodie at night. I'm fond of my black since I found my black within people, within places, and everything, y'all. Look at there. I have this noun in my black. I got this fondness of black since I found my black. I got this joy in my black since I found my black. my black. Got this fondness of black since I found my black, especially since I'm fond of you. I have one last poem for you. And for you, right, I appreciate it. I'll give you a book.
For me?
Yes, and not the free one. I'll give you the one that I actually sell. So thank you for doing that. Again, I'm at Outspoken Bean on everything. But if you give me your email address or if you follow me, come see me at the merch table. I'll give you a free book, and if you want to buy one, I would love to give it. At 2 in the morning, I got a speeding ticket last night. It's mad unfair. I was coming down the hill, like he shouldn't have been there. He should have gone. You know what I'm saying? He's an asshole, dude. And then he was on the right side and he's mad at my mama for being afraid. Like, it's dark too, dude. Anyway. So if you want to buy some books to help with my Louisiana ticket fund, that would be awesome. And thank y'all so much for being out here. Yo, pass it on. I'm so happy that it's here. That it's here. And so much legacy. Never had the opportunity to meet the artist, Dr. John Scott, but his legacy and his work and his son and everything, like it's just beautiful. I wrote this poem for you. Yeah. What's your name? Catherine. I knew your name started with a letter. I just couldn't. Catherine, I wrote this poem for you. And yeah, what's your name? Lohas? Lohos. Lohos. I also wrote it for you, specifically. Lohos would love this poem. You know what I'm saying? I wrote this poem for you. What's your name? Bree. I wrote this for you.
LP.
LP. Like
Lyrical Paradigm, that's my name.
Got it. Okay, got it. Yeah, of course, duh. Yeah. I thought you meant like Run the Jewels. Well, anyway.
That's me.
Yeah, I wrote this for you. Thank you so much. I wrote this poem for each and every single one of you. Persons, people, we are the extraordinary, living among the ordinary who believe that ties don't tie the same around white collar or blue. My class is not your homeroom. I am a match. I burn at both ends, but just don't burn. For you, we are regular people. All my hairs are numbered. I carry 10 digits in my pockets. I was given a pair of stare and I wear them in my sockets. I am a person, not a people. We speak the same language, even when it's not the same language. That's when the universal language, body movement comes in. I use the same 10% of my brain as you do. I wanted to use the other 90 so I could tell to the guru. I woke up early in the morning to catch a 7:30 flight, flew halfway around the world and land, and in the night, I'm halfway up the mountain, got halfway in the village. When I reached the guru, he touched me and replied, "You're really a person. You may be born on different days, but you're created the same way, of the same basis, using the same clay. You are regular people. We are regular people. You're the starving child band in Ethiopia. You're the rich kingdom poor in the cornucopia. You are people." Well, excuse me, Mr. Shaman Man. I traveled a long distance to try to find some solutions, and now I found a man with all the answers. You only added to my confusion. I don't want to be just one of the people now. I want to ride the elevator to the top until I have no equal. I want to see that's where I've been. The top is cold, desolate, regrettable, yet unforgettable. I tug, you tug. As a reminder, the rope strands were once alive and secluded. You die, you are, I am, we are. He is, she is, they are, you are. Three floating molecules making up a body, a universe. You're the stanza, the mantra, the words, the free verse, passports. Take months for you to receive, so when you walk, you're a poem in motion. You are, I am, we are. Seeds deeply rooted in the forest of poet trees. Let my limbs reach you. Read my leaves and allow them to teach you. Gather your bones on the way to the summit. Toss them, let them delete, then plummet into the depths of one's soul. As you travel your way, on top of the mountain you see, while you were on your way up, I was on my way down. That's how we met at the middle, because you can't figure out the middle, not the way to escape the people. It's to become the people. So at least speak to the people. You don't have to agree with the people, because come on, have you met them? You know how people think. You show them the truth, but no, you know how people see. You teach them good morals, and then they still choose impurity. So choose. What is your choice? Don't worry about your flaws subsequently. We're all equal, and I heard your people can build battle like towers. And I heard your people across this peoples together, a people to build cathedrals one person at a time, because we are all regular.
Yeah.
So happy to be on the stage again. Love sharing poetry with my friends. And I'm so happy to be on these roads again. I'm passing the word again.
Yeah.
So happy to be, I pass it on again.
Hey, hey.
This life I love sharing poetry with my friends. And I'm so happy to be on these roads again. Thank you, y'all.
Yeah.
I appreciate y'all. I'm so happy to be sharing my love.
Y'all leaving? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Y'all good? Well, they probably don't even know. Did y'all know we have snacks and we got like chips? I mean, we don't have chips. We got sandwiches, we got water, we got wine. And then we ain't gonna charge y'all that much, but my cash app is. They won't give it to y'all.
Icon artist.
You said it wrong. You said it wrong. It's close. It's $ James 3D John.
Everybody remember all that. Icon artist was easier. You sent it to me all last year.
But how y'all doing? Y'all good?
Yeah.
So the way that we normally do our shows, we have more than one feature, right? Like we do multiple features in the night. We do poetry features, we do musical features, we also do a visual feature.
It's under open mic or like,
I don't know.
does the thing.
I don't know.
It's usually just poetry.
Yeah, it's poetry.
Just music.
Uh-huh.
Never all of it. Just three intertwined.
Oh my God. We got all of those things.
This is like,
Oh, okay. I don't know how to clean that up. Alright, well, I'm trying to clean it up. I try. Are y'all ready for y'all next featured artist?
Yeah.
I said, are you ready for your next featured artist?
Yeah.
So, guess what? This artist. Hold on, wait.
I said they were rules at first.
You gotta tell them the rules.
There was guidelines.
Respect the
John,
bar.
he stand in the line as a guy that we gave him. So, rule number one is respect the box, meaning,
Respect the
meaning I'm
bar.
gonna let y'all have it.
That's the first time you said this whole time.
So respect the box, meaning if somebody is on this box giving a poem, telling something, then unless you have a poem that you think is better than what they have to give,
Don't start slamming here. Don't start those
I
slamming.
don't think nobody got nothing better than the artist that we just put up. I mean, I might be surprised. No, but seriously, we want to make sure that the artists are being heard. First and foremost, we want to make sure me and John are being heard because I've been speaking all week. And I don't feel the inclination to be yelling over people, especially over adults, to get them to try to listen. And it's a beautiful show. We're here free of charge for you all. We thank you all for coming out, for spending the gas money, for parking, all the things. So we will hope that you want to enjoy the show to the fullest in order to do that. We're going to have a little time to mix and mingle at a little intermission or a little after show or whatever. Y'all can collect numbers, Instagrams, give people hugs, tell them you like their hair and all that other good stuff when it's over. But until then, in the meantime, in between time, we have another featured artist, as John has said. And this time, our featured artist ain't no poet. They are poet with an instrument.
Come on. Yeah, I saw you do that.
You
I saw you. You was like, yeah.
That was a metaphor. That was a metaphor.
So this next featured artist, one is from here. It's from New Orleans, a talented trumpet player from New Orleans who also just released a single. So
y'all gotta go get that, right? The name of that single is Ride My Train. I want y'all to be ready and go and get that, please, because after that
And
is
also, can I add something?
Oh, add something.
He has an album that's gonna be dropping soon called
yeah.
Rock Your
You agree that I was gonna say that.
Okay,
All right, go ahead now.
I just want to plug myself.
You got it.
I just want to plug myself because I'm on the album. That's all.
Okay.
Carry on. I'm on the album. Carry on.
All right.
On a song called Freedom when you get the album. Because y'all gonna get the album, right? Carry on.
All right.
Featuring icon artist on Freedom. With the artist that's featuring. Carry on.
So, yeah, like she said, you know, all the stuff she said. Y'all have an amazing, amazing, talented musical feature. Are you ready for the word? Yes, for the amazing Troy.
How y'all feeling tonight? Everybody say rock your soul. Rock your soul. Everybody say rock your soul. Rock your soul. So rock your soul means simply just be yourself, all right? Your soul is your energy. No one is like you in this world. And so you have to rock your soul. And my album is called what?
Rock Your Soul.
Because we're going to rock our souls all day, every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours. This is how we do it in New Orleans and beyond. All right? Because I know we have some people from all over the place, right? Like H-Town in the house, Chicago in the house, right? So many people are here. But I am so happy to be here. My boy right here, my friend, Idol. We've been rocking for a long time. We went to St. Aug together, St. Augustine High School back in the day. And my last name is Sawyer, his last name is Scott. He sat right behind me. And he was like, man, I don't know about this, man. I'm about to roll out. It's crazy. And he rolled out. He went to Benjamin Franklin right after that, right? And so we've been rocking and rolling for a long time. He's a creative artist. I'm a creative artist. And that's what brings us together, the art. Let's give it up for the art. It's all about self-expression. So today, I called up Ayo. I text you too. I said, man, what time do I come on? He said, I don't just come through. It's organic, you just do your thing, jump in whenever you want to jump in. I said, okay, so I came in, I jumped in a couple times, and then I'm thinking I was good, but they're like, oh no, you're featured, so you gotta do something, right? And so, I feel like as a musician in New Orleans, being a trumpet player from New Orleans, I have superpowers. Yes, it stems from our ancestors. Louis Armstrong paved the way. My musicians, my family members, they were musicians. My great-grandfather co-wrote songs with Buddy Bolden, played with Louis Armstrong. Like, I stand on those people's shoulders to do what I do. So I have superpowers. So when I go around the world and I say, okay, I'm a trumpet player from New Orleans, everyone, they immediately give me that honor and you just roll out the red carpet. You go to France, oh, you from New Orleans? Okay, yeah. And you get a royal treatment. I'm like, oh, I got superpowers, Because Louis Armstrong and all those ancestors are working through me. And they paved the way for me to do what I do. So by me playing the trumpet, I really don't talk too much. I'm always playing. And I feel like this platform gives me to express myself and actually tell some stories. Because I have a lot of stories to tell. All right? Y'all ready for the first one?
Yes.
This horn right here, this trumpet right here is a brand new trumpet. I'm trying to break it in. It's like a new girlfriend. I had to develop a relationship with this new girlfriend. I don't even know what she's all about. I gotta figure her out so we can actually come together and create some harmony. And so my trumpet, I've been playing on for years. It got stolen from me a couple of years ago when Miss Landry was married at the time. And this happened on a Friday at this spot I parked around this spot called the Victory at the time. I said, okay, I'm going to go to the Victory in New Orleans and go get a couple of drinks, chill, and then roll out. This was on a Friday night. I left my truck. I think I was waiting for my truck for about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. And I came back to my truck. I had 3 trumpets in my truck. I had 2 beginner horns because I teach music. And then I had my trumpet. And I was so devastated that my trumpet was stolen because I had but I had a major gig to play the Black National Anthem Monday for the MLK celebration for the city. So I didn't have a backup trumpet because before that I got carjacked and they stole my trumpet. And New Orleans is crazy like that, right? So I'm like, why me? Why did they steal my instruments? You know what's going on? And curse this, whatever. But I had to push through, so I'm calling all my friends up. And I know there are trumpet players. I said, do you have a trumpet I can use to do this gig Monday? I'm calling up Trombone Shorty. I'm calling up all my friends, Andrew Behan. The only one, actually Trombone Shorty, he was out of town. So I called up his brother, James Andrews. I said, James, somebody stole my trumpet. I got this gig Monday. He said, meet me at Franklin Avenue Baptist Church. I got you, Jeff. I got you. So Sunday after church, I met up with James Andrews, who is Trombone Shorty's brother, older brother. That's my big brother too. And I got this trumpet. So I went home. I practiced on him like, ooh, I love the sound of it. I really connected with the trumpet. But the bells were kind of turning on me. Like, what's going on? The bells were turning, but I had to figure it out, right? I got this gig Sunday. I got a gig early in the morning. Like, I had to be at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I played the Black National Anthem, and I told Rich Landrew about the story. He said, man, why you didn't call me up? Because a lot of people don't know Rich Landrew plays the trumpet. I said, man, I don't have your number. What are you talking about? I don't have your number. So I'm like, he said, all right, I'm going to give you my number. Call me up next time. I'm like, you know, next time. So I played the gig, and so I got attached to this horn for a long time. It's been years. And my big brother James Andrews recently said, Neff, I need my horn back. I need my trumpet back. And I got this brand new horn, but when I actually played it, I wasn't really feeling it, so I just kept playing it. I said, you know what, James? I said, I'm working on my album, Rock Your Soul. What is it called? Rock Your Soul. So I'm working on my album. I said, let me finish recording my album with that particular trumpet, with your trumpet, and then I give it back to you. Say, all right, cool. So one of our teachers, he passed away, one of the masters, Edward Kid Jordan. He taught pretty much all of us. So like John Baptiste, we were part of the Satchmo Jazz Camp, Christian Scott, a lot of great musicians came to that camp. And so Edward Kid Jordan inspired us to find our own sound, from like Clyde Kirk Jr. to Elvin Baptiste. A lot of those greats inspired us to find our own sound. And they will always say, if that person is closing their eyes and you're playing, they can know that that's Troy Sawyer when you're playing. That's Miles Davis, that's Louis Armstrong. So for years I've been trying to find my sound. And I finally found it for it's like presenting it to the world, because this is my first album. A lot of people think I have a bunch of albums out there because the gigs I did and the people I played with, but this is the debut album called Rock Your Soul, and I'm so happy to actually share this with the world. So tonight, I'm just honored to be here and be with my friends from back in the day. Icon is on the album Freedom, and I'm blessed to have her on the album. I have Rockin' Lucy, Little Freddie King, who is like one of the oldest blues artists in the city, and some other people too, some special guests that popped up. And the song that I dropped, which is the second single of my album, Rock Your Soul, is called Ride My Train. This song happened and was inspired by a jam session. My first cousin, I don't know if y'all know it, but his name is Leon Bridges, right? So before he became Leon Bridges, he was Ty Bridges, my cousin, and that's my little cousin, and he looked up to me, and we come from a musical family. So my dad's side of the family, more vocalists, and my mom's side of the family, more instrumentalists. And so like our grandmother had a gospel group called the Carrolltonettes. They were a popular gospel group back in the day. And our Uncle Gilbert, was a great singer on the scene. So one day, Leon, y'all know him as Leon Bridges, came with his mom and his sister in the musician's village where I live. And I remember this night. My auntie Lisa said, Ty just wrote a song about me. I said, what? I said, he's writing music now, he's singing it. What's going on? Because he wasn't doing it. She said, yeah, he sang the song, he wrote a song about me. I said, cuz, let me hear it. So he sang that song on the porch of my house, and I was like, man, cuz, we got to record that. Fast, he comes back to New Orleans. He stays by my mom's crib uptown, because I'm from uptown. P-Town 17 Ward, you know, you want to know? All right, so that song was so powerful because it talks about our grandparents, it talks about New Orleans, it talks about his mom, my auntie Lisa. And my sister calls me up while I'm in New York. She said, Troy, I said, what? She said, Ty just got signed to Columbia. I said, what? I called him up, I said, you just got signed to Columbia? He said, yeah. He says, it's crazy, man, it's crazy, cuz, it's crazy, cuz. And so he released his first album, Coming Home, and Lisa Sawyer, of course, that was my favorite song. He recorded that, and that was actually on that album. But before that happened, we had a jam session at our parade, and we were jamming, you know, before we became Leon Bridges, he was Ty, the little cousin, so we jamming out. And then, man, some of the lyrics, like he was just singing, he was improvising, right? He said, man, that's real stuff, you know what I mean? And so I started developing those concepts. And that's how Ride My Train, the song that I dropped yesterday morning, came about. Go check it out, Ride My Train. Featuring my band Troy Sawyer in the Elements with a Z. E-L-E-M-E-N-T-Z. Troy Sawyer in the Elements, all right? So going back to this trumpet, I've been trying to break this trumpet in. And I feel like I just need to just break it in a little bit more, you know? So I'm just gonna create on the spot, and that's what jazz is all about, self-expression. And we in New Orleans, Essence Fest is one of my favorite festivals. So let's give it up for Essence Fest, y'all. Essence Fest. All right. So I'm trying to connect.